Tell me more
An
about
echo.
how you are putting things
Mhm.
together in your mind differently
Yes.
than you've been taught,
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
even how you've thought in the past.
Yes. Thank you. So, if we
Mhm.
take the framework of cognitive behavioral therapy, which
Yeah.
you and I are both familiar with because we treat patients and people who are struggling with mental health, and we look at the relationship between thoughts and emotions with them.
Yeah.
We're I've been taught, and probably you too,
Mhm.
that okay, we have thoughts that are dysfunctional, maladaptive, based on our earlier programmings in life that lead to distressing emotions, and we just need to tackle those thoughts to feel better.
Mhm.
But it turns out it's a little bit more complicated than that. So actually, what I realized over the recent years is like whenever I would feel an emotion, and by the way, an emotion is probably a construct because emotions, they're not just sadness,
Mhm.
fear, paranoia, whatever, anger.
Mhm.
It's really the full palette. But let's say I identify with an emotion, or I have an emotion coming to me and I've been taught that it was something called sadness.
Mhm.
Then I'm thinking, well, what was the thought behind it? What led to it? But sometimes there's no thought. I realized more and more
Mm.
while practicing meditation or becoming more and more self aware that it just happens. There was not necessarily a narrative that triggered it.
Mhm.
So that got me really curious about then
Mhm.
what is happening.
Mhm.
And what I find, Bronwyn, from my own experience, but also for listening to countless patient stories, is that
Yeah.
we are very perceptive beings. We are like antennas. We are basically
Mhm.
receiving energies, and we therefore perceive energy shifts around us in the natural world, but also, of course, in the people we interact with.
Yeah.
So often we have an emotion or an emotion passes through us, but it actually has nothing to do with our own immediate experience. It could be someone else's emotions we're carrying
Mhm.
or receiving. So therefore, it's important to pay attention to maybe a sensation that preceded
Mhm.
it or a
Yes.
sensation that we labeled emotion. Maybe
Yeah.
what we say, I feel sad, is a heaviness in the chest. Okay, well, let's
Right.
keep it at that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean. That's
Mhm.
where I'm at right now in my deconstruction of the
Yeah.
whole emotional experiences we go through without blaming it on the thoughts all the time, because sometimes there are no
I
thoughts behind that.
I just love
Yeah.
what you're saying. And you know what? I heard like a couple years ago, someone was, a therapist was saying on a podcast I was listening to, how the CBT, like the thoughts being at the basis, first came to be was from men and like Greek philosophers who I don't know who it was, maybe Plato or Aristotle or Socrates, but were like the emotions, are like the horses that, and we have to rein them in, and that's what the brain does. It reins in those emotions because the emotions are going to make you lose control, right? And that was, do you know who I'm talking about, which philosopher that was? I'm not sure it matters, but some
Could
Greek
it be
philosopher.
Socrates, Plato? I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
just going
yeah,
to
yeah,
name them.
one of them.
I
But
don't
they're
know.
men, and that's how they
Yeah, of
viewed the
course.
world. And
Yes.
we have really, in Western culture, just really adopted that and run with it, if you will. And we've dissected the brain from the body by doing
Yeah.
so. And we've been
Yes.
doing that for, I don't know, 2000 years, what have you. So that's so unfortunate. And I found, just like you, that the body holds truth. Like the body is
Yeah.
grounded, our feet are
Yes.
grounded on the earth, and the body will tell us what's true. And if we disassociate from that by talking ourselves out of it, which is what we do here,
Yeah.
then we're in trouble. Then we're not living in reality, right? And so that's what I think I hear you saying.
Yes, exactly. You said it beautifully because we are part of this earth. We are,
Mhm,
even though we see it separate, we
mhm,
think that the earth is there to serve us, to provide resources. No, we are part of that whole system.
mhm,
And we
mhm,
are therefore receiving information from the planet. And the thought is an afterthought, actually. It's often like, okay, what we make out
mhm,
of this. And trying to fight
mhm,
that, we
mhm.
just really miss the core mechanism, the root mechanism, and we miss
Yeah.
important information too,
Oh,
because
yeah.
if there's a sensation coming through our body, it's because there's something that we need to be aware of. An
Yeah.
example, and I don't know if you have pets, but apparently cats and dogs will sense when there's an earthquake before it's coming.
Yes, I've heard
And
that.
they see, so they're very attuned or very sensitive, and maybe we've lost touch with that, but I'm sure we can, to a certain degree, even experience certain things and predict or
Mm.
anticipate. But we do have a remnant of that, which is when we have like those projective identification experiences. You know, we have an emotion and like, whoa, where's that coming from? But maybe we're
Mm.
reacting to someone's projection.
Mm.
So, but that's also a sensation because that's basically an energy shift. What's an
Mhm.
emotion? In my mind, it's an energy shift
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
carries a message that needs to be decoded.
Yeah, I love that, and I love kind of what you're saying. It makes me think how we have these sensations in our body, and if we try to figure things out without kind of coming back to our body, if we don't account for what's happening in our body, if we just try to figure things out in our brain alone by what we see with our eyes or what we hear with our ears, like we're going to miss vital information. We're going to
Yes,
miss out.
true.
So we can take things in with our five senses. The five senses are great, but they play a part in something bigger, which is also
Yeah.
our bodily sensations, what maybe we would call the sixth sense, but our body's also telling us something. And so if we use our senses, we also need to use our bodily sense. And
Yeah.
together, that's going to tell us something. But if we don't do that, we could be deceived, right? Our eyes are someone might look really lovely and they might be a monster, right? And our
Yeah.
eyes aren't going to tell it. They might say things that we hear that sound really sweet and really kind or what
Yeah.
have you, but our body's like, right?
Yes, exactly. Energy doesn't lie. So we need to pay attention to that extra layer of sensory information. And you described intuition, the gut feeling, right? Yeah, other sensations, not just the five neurological senses that are around the head, basically ear, smell, I mean, the sight, the sound,
Mhm.
whatever, all there. But what about the rest of the body? The rest of the body also is
Mhm.
experiencing the world. And it's very important to learn to become acquainted with our intuitive
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
We need to be fluent in that language because the more
Yeah.
we know it, the better we'll be able to utilize it and we'll be more effective at navigating life challenges and anticipating
Yes. Yes.
difficulties. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so crazy. I'm going to go back to the man woman thing. When we
Yes, I
think
love that.
I mean, when we think about medicine, we think about CBT, we think about, traditional psychotherapy, what have you. It was all really, fueled by men and a masculine way of seeing the world,
Yeah.
which discounts our subjective experience. So if we look at science, well, how do you empirically prove that? Okay, that means objective. That means things that you can repeat objectively that we can all see at the same time, right?
Yeah.
But there's a subjective piece that science cannot include by nature, not the type of science we've developed in the West. There's a
Yeah. Right.
subjective piece that I think that humanity is waking up to how vital this subjective piece is. It
Yeah.
is on par with the objective, and we cannot discount it anymore. Not in
Yes.
therapy, not in life.
Right. I love that what you're saying because I think we're shifting away from this paradigm, the materialistic view
Mm,
of consciousness
mhm.
and the mind. But I really feel like the subjective is real. We tend
Yeah,
to dismiss that.
yeah,
Objective is the truth because it's reproducible and it's like
yeah.
measurable.
Mhm.
Well, what about the unmeasurable? Can you
Right.
measure love?
Right.
No, but we feel it. We know when it is love or attachment
Yes.
or positive emotions, joy. Can you
Yeah.
measure that? Yeah, you might
Mhm.
find some markers, but it's never going to get
Mhm.
so close to it that it
Yeah.
actually encapsulates it. So the
Yeah.
subjective is actually telling us a lot
Right.
about an experience. So objective is actually, I find that the conditions in which research operate are not often not representative of what's happening in real life. It's like, how often do you actually get to control the
Mm-hmm.
variables in life? We don't. We respond and we adjust
Mm-hmm.
to what's coming to us. So I feel like we need to kind of learn to integrate both and not
Yes.
just dismiss the subjective, which is often as, yes, associated with femininity, with
Mm-hmm.
the intuitive,
Mm-hmm. Right.
the divine feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So we don't want to dismiss or discount what's objective, but we need both.
Yeah.
We absolutely need both because both lead to truth together.
Yes, there are different angles
Mm-hmm.
that get to it, but one cannot operate without the other. You can't. But
Mm-hmm.
I agree that it's been dominated by like the rational kind of left brain functions, and yeah, so-called male, typically,
Mm-hmm.
or male qualities, or masculine, the masculine versus feminine, the yang versus yin. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's appropriate to make a parallel with menopause. I don't know where I'm going with that, but what is happening in women's body during menopause? It's like
Mm-hmm.
we try to, okay, there's the biology, but what if it's something broader than that, that our body's picking up on, and it's recalibrating itself, welcoming the subjective again, finally
Mm-hmm.
one last attempt to make room for it and
Mm-hmm.
giving it legitimacy. I don't want to pathologize that. I'm actually trying to utilize, okay, my hot flashes, is it just a hormonal shift, or it's actually mirroring something that's happening in my life that I'm just more attuned to?
I haven't had hot flashes in a while, but when I did, I felt like they were associated with anger.
Oh,
I
okay.
really did. And I
Yeah.
have my friend Katie, she talks about her theory of menopause is when we lose the estrogen, it's getting us, or wait, is it the progesterone? I forget which one that goes down. Is it
I
estrogen?
think
Like,
we kind of lose both,
do we lose it? Okay. Okay.
but
Well,
it's complicated.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I trust you because you're an MD, but so yeah, she believes that when those hormones change, we start to kind of wake up to our anger and to ourself, like, and a lot of women will realize they don't want to stay in their relationship. It's because they
Correct.
don't need the relationship to have a baby anymore. They're like, what am I doing, and they're waking
Yeah.
up. So yeah, I like those theories, that makes
Me
sense.
too. It does. And again, Bronwyn, the objective, the measurable hormones are not incompatible with the other theory. They're not mutually exclusive. It's just
Yeah.
like one is the biological version or expression of something broader, social,
Mm-hmm.
psychological, spiritual. I
Yes.
mean, these millennia of oppression women have been through. Now they have a chance to say, hey, now I'm going to, okay, channel this rage,
Mm-hmm.
sacred, healthy rage that's coming, that my hot flashes are reminding me, or
Mm-hmm.
reminding me that I have, and to make changes in my life, to empower
Mm-hmm.
myself, to help others,
Mm-hmm.
to enter that crown phase,
Yeah.
the generativity phase, also in
Mm-hmm.
another framework.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's fascinating. I try to now utilize any body sensation that I have without necessarily labeling a dysfunction or an imbalance to it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is what it is. What can it tell me? How can it teach me something? Yeah.
Have you seen or have you gotten any wisdom from listening to your body recently?
Um, well, yeah, in a way, I realized, like, and we were talking about a book and it's not really related, maybe, or maybe it is, but noticing the boundaries, like feeling I had various sensations in my body after, let's say, an interaction. And I realized that, okay, there's a boundary I had not fully attended to, which was maybe the mental boundary, like how much I protect myself from other people's narratives, or other people's stories. So it
Mm,
started weighing on me, and I felt irritable. And I'm like, okay, but I could blame it on the menopause. I could say, or I could blame it on the insomnia due to menopause. You see, but I'm
mm,
like, wait a minute. I think, yeah.
mm,
So it just makes me more, I would say, open minded about other frameworks. the
Hmm.
body sensations, because yeah,
Yeah.
moving away from the tunnel vision.
Well, I see, hormones as chemical messengers. So I'm like,
Yeah,
what are they telling you?
right
There's your
on.
body's screaming something. So I'm curious, Carolyn, and I might be off, but I just wonder if for you, the hot flashes might represent maybe your body being angry at you for betraying her for so long
Wow. Oh my gosh,
in
I'm
the
gonna cry.
past.
I'm gonna start crying. I think you're spot on. You know what? It's actually started. My hot flashes started years ago when I walked away from a very difficult marriage,
Yeah.
and I was like, I thought it was a coincidence. I was like, okay, well, I'm at that age, and I'm like, I can't go through menopause and a divorce at the same time. I was so overwhelmed, and I'm like, why is life doing this to me? Why is my body doing this to me? But I think
Mm,
maybe they even happened before and I didn't
mm,
detect them. Maybe I didn't experience them because it's hard living in Sacramento. Basically, a hot flash, my definition of it is having a hot July day in Sacramento under your skin. That's
mhm,
what a hot flash is for me. So I
mhm,
was like, so maybe I had felt those, but they got hidden, or I didn't experience them. I didn't detect them because of the weather. But yeah, so maybe it was trying to warn me. I think that's what you're trying to say. And Bronwyn, what's interesting is like how heterogeneous the plethora of symptoms for women going through that stage. It could be cognitive, it could be
mhm,
physical, digestive, emotional, and yeah, thermoregulation. So
mhm.
maybe that just tells us that we have all our own narratives. That the menopause is recycling or trying to process and integrate through those symptoms to wake us up.
Well, so when you were walking away from this horrible marriage, I think your body was being woken up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
not only him, but to how you betrayed yourself with him.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And you are correct because this is exactly what happens when we are in relationships that are not affirming or that are not
Mhm.
emotionally fulfilling or that are abusive. It's
Yes.
at our core, it's because we have betrayed ourselves, we have abandoned ourselves,
Mhm.
and I can identify with that, and I'm at risk of relapsing in that. So maybe that's why I still have those hot flashes
You're
occasionally.
at risk of relapse.
Well, I'm at risk. I am. I hope not. No, no, but you know what I mean, or not necessarily in a relationship, but like just in general, abandoning myself or putting my needs second. That's what I mean in that
Ah,
kind of relapse, like not putting myself first or
I see.
betraying myself again. So it's more like
Yeah.
micro betrayals. Yeah.
Okay, so your body, it doesn't trust you still.
Oh, maybe I can. Maybe we can say that. Maybe I should reassure my body that I've got this.
No, because I think
No.
your body is maybe,
As
picking up that
yeah.
it doesn't trust you because 'cause you're saying you are still at risk because 'cause you're still not putting yourself first.
Right.
You're still so listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's this is what I call when we say putting ourselves first, I don't like that term. What I
Uh-huh.
do like is only being responsible for ourselves because we are responsible to other people,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. What an
but
important
not
nuance.
for them. We are only responsible for us. And so what I'm sensing is your body's like, Carolyn, I still think you might be feeling
Oh
responsible for others
my gosh.
instead of to them. And therefore, when you are feeling responsible for them, you cannot simultaneously be responsible for me.
Oh my gosh. You're a magician. This is amazing. This is
Mm,
exactly it. A
yeah.
very recent situation where
Mm,
it just, I was confronted with that. Like, I just want everyone to be happy. And I know it sounds cliche and I never wanted to believe that, but it was like I was confronted with that. I was caring about someone's whatever own experience of life, that and I wanted them so bad to feel good,
mm,
and another person, and I was like, but wait a minute, it's all affecting me because
mm,
directly or indirectly, because I feel some demands or expectations, but then
mm.
how about me? I need to be responsible for me.
Mhm.
Yes, and maybe giving them back that power or having them take that
Mhm.
power for being responsible for themselves. So it's a very, oh my gosh, very helpful statement there. Very good reframing. That really resonates completely.
Can I ask, are those people your kids?
Um, there are some that
Okay.
it's not the most recent example, but for sure, yeah, I would say my kids on a daily basis,
Yeah.
yes, and I'm
Because I
aware of
mean,
that. Yeah,
that's a big
yeah,
struggle, I think, for all moms. So I just wanted
yeah.
to name that. So, I will have moms with a newborn baby being like, "No, I am responsible for my baby, not to her." And I said, "No, you're not. You're still only responsible to her. You are not responsible. Only she can be responsible for herself, even though she's a newborn."
Yeah, yeah,
Being
yeah.
responsible to her is a lot of work, but that's all you are still, right?
Yeah,
And so, that's really
yeah.
important. So to me, your body is telling you that, right? It's giving you feedback, like,
Oh wow, yeah.
like, "You've betrayed me before, Carolyn, and here I can't trust you yet because 'cause you're still kinda living that out," right?
Wow. Okay, yeah, this is really, really accurate and really fitting my situation at the moment. And it's layered. Yes, my kids,
Mm,
and other people who are
mm,
meaningful in my life, people I work with, people I work for, people I care about. And as you know, as a healer, there are many of those people, and it's like
mhm,
I know that I can lose sight of myself very rapidly, and I kind of
mm,
felt it. I
mm,
had a insomnia, and I felt
mm.
kind of joyful and then sad. It was like mix of emotions, very weird. The heaviness. So I really need to, yeah, remind myself that I'm responsible for myself. That I don't want to betray myself. I've done that too many
So
times.
so let me
Yeah.
ask you, what is the hardest for you when you think about not being responsible for them? Like, what is the pull
Oh,
for you? Is it like, if
okay.
they do better, I feel better kind of thing? Like, help me understand that.
Yeah, it's. Wow. I guess maybe I feel too. This the mother instinct, like really the nurturing side of me that want people to not suffer. I want to take people suffering on me again, and I know how irrational it is. I know it cognitively
Mhm.
that I cannot go through the suffering for them, but there's a part of me still, the emotional part, that's
Yeah.
very kind of like a reflex or a knee jerk reaction. That part want me to have it because somehow I feel like I'm going to be able to take it, but they can't. But it's kind of, yeah, I would say. I don't want to say paternalistic, but maybe. Maybe maybe it's because I wanted someone to take my own when I was little.
Mm. No,
Maybe
that
because
makes sense.
I would have liked for someone to say, "Oh, I wish I could take your pain away."
Mhm.
I wish maybe just hearing that for me would have been healing. I think maybe
So,
that's what's happening.
tell me, can I just lead you in a little exercise?
Sure.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine that you are seeing someone right in front of you. Maybe it's a patient
Okay.
and they are really struggling and you can't take it away. And tell me what you
Yes.
feel in your body.
Kind of labored breathing.
Okay, so like your chest feels more constricted?
Yeah, it's like my belly doesn't want to expand. Like when we do abdominal breathing, it's like there's something kind of blocking it a little bit.
Oh, okay. So some tension in the belly.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I want you to feel that, Carolyn, and I want you, as you focus on that sensation, just let your mind float back to the earliest time you remember feeling that sensation. Tell me if a memory comes up.
Not really early memories.
It could be anything.
I mean, the closest I had was a heaviness in my stomach when I had this kind of abandonment wounds. So,
Oh,
but it's not
what?
quite,
No, no, no,
yeah.
no, no. Don't, no. Let's just listen to your body. So tell me about the abandonment wounds.
Yeah, I mean, when I, should I keep my eyes closed?
Oh, no, go
um,
ahead and open them. Yeah.
okay. So, yeah, it's all for me like the solar plexus area, I think, because yesterday I felt bloated and I'm like, okay, this is whatever I'm going through right now. But it's a
Yeah.
slightly different sensation than the heaviness of the stomach. You know, it's like feeling like there's a load of cement that landed in my stomach, like from an elevator drop kind of feeling.
Whoa.
That I had that as a child and later on as an adult.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that it's tied to abandonment. I know it's tied to not feeling included or
Um,
feeling abandoned. Yeah.
okay. So I
Yeah.
see the tears in your eyes.
Yeah.
That is the most painful feeling there is on the planet.
Yeah. And you know, the betraying, abandoning myself, like it's just coming full circle with that. So I'm very aware. And it's like, I actually, once I became aware, I had that less and less, the load of cement in my body, because I reframed that as like, whatever, if the world doesn't want to be with me, I have me. I
Yeah.
have me.
Yeah, but there's still this thing here. So let's bring
It's
it
still there.
let's bring it to closure because it's
Okay.
telling you it wants to be.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing
Yeah.
then is you don't have a specific memory, but it's just like the abandonment and what that created for little Carolyn is when
Yeah.
she felt abandoned, she uh linked that to, oh, I won't abandon someone else, and that way I won't be abandoned. Like if I
Oh,
take away
yeah.
their suffering, if I show up for them like I wish they
Right.
would for me, then I won't have to feel this way again. Yeah?
Wow. Yes, it is so, I don't want to say convoluted, but like it's, yeah, it's back in, it's very layered. Yes. So that, yeah.
There's an association between
Yeah.
I don't want to feel this again and this is how I can not have
Yeah.
to undergo this again.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And even the fear, Bronwyn, of a close connection, I think that can be triggering for me because I'm
Yeah.
like, it's, I think that's it. I think not
Yeah.
only the abandonment, but the opposite of abandonment can come mess up with this, can
Oh
play with
yeah.
this.
Because that makes you very vulnerable to have that level of closeness, and then there's the
Yeah.
potential for so much pain.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's it. I think I'm like, I don't trust. It's like
Mhm.
survivors of trauma. I see that all the time,
Mhm.
and you might too. Like they don't trust life. That's why we diagnose them with generalized anxiety disorder. You know, the worst
Mhm.
can happen, of course, because the worst did happen to them
It
as
did
children.
happen. Mhm.
Yeah, so no wonder it makes sense. So they can't trust life. So it seems to me like still I have a hard time trusting happiness, love, whatever. These
Yeah.
words are kind of seem
Yeah.
unattainable. But the
Yeah.
positive emotions generated with specific connections, it seems like I can't trust that. So I
Mhm.
start,
Mm.
I have this bloating, I have heaviness.
Mm.
Yeah. And when I'm
Okay.
sad, I feel it here. Yeah.
Do
The
you have a
heaviness.
memory in particular of the abandonment, or is it just kind of a
Yeah.
general
It was repeated, you know, I have complex PTSD.
with
So,
with your mom? Because we talked about her.
yeah, and both my dad too, because he left a marriage and I was 8, so it was kind of a very vulnerable age for me. So I felt really abandoned. You know, I remember when my mom told us, me and my sister, my brother was too young, that
Mm.
my dad was, you know, in another relationship. My life ended at that point. I would have preferred for her to tell me that he had just died. I remember that vividly because when she said, "I have bad
Oh.
news for you," and I immediately said, "Papa
Oh.
had an accident." That was the worst that could be in my mind. I could not imagine. The abandonment was even worse because it's psychological, it's emotional. But a death, you say it's not
Yes.
the
Oh,
person's
yeah.
fault. Eventually, you can process. So that was even
Right.
worse than I could imagine. So it's like, yeah, I was abandoned, literally, but also I felt abandoned. It was my experience of it. But there's actually an abandonment when a dad is relatively absent. You see him once every
Yeah.
2 weekends, and it's like, and when you're there, he plays golf, kind of. It was that. So it's like abandonment, micro abandonment, macro abandonments repeatedly.
Right. Well,
So
so
that's
that's
yeah.
rejection. That's more than like a death is like
Oh,
a
okay.
non-personal abandonment.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
like rejection, like, hey, you're right there, but I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to do my own thing. Like that is way more painful.
Oh, oh,
Hmm.
I think you're right. I never put it into words like that. Maybe because it was too painful. And maybe, yeah, wow, that's huge. Okay, okay, yeah. Rejection. I've been rejected.
So,
Oh, yes, it all makes sense. My whole life, I tried to be loved to counteract this feeling of rejection. This
yeah.
is it. But I knew that I was running after something I never got, but like to frame it like this. It was actually to overcome the rejection. And the rejection is such a word that it's painful.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
I never really put it into words like that for myself. For me, it was
Yeah.
abandonment, or it was, well, no, it's rejection, and that's what actually a therapist actually told me that my at the time husband was rejecting my essence. So I just basically reproduced a situation where I could have
Mm,
to put me face to face with that I had not resolved. My
mhm.
whole life, my essence has been rejected.
Mm.
Wow. Not by everyone, obviously, but the
Yeah.
caregivers in your life, they're the more
Yeah.
important people. You need to
Yeah.
be affirmed and seen by them. For me, I
Yes.
was not. My parents were just
Yeah.
too busy with their drama and with them.
Okay, so let's do this. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to see little 8-year-old
Okay.
Carolyn.
Okay.
She's 8 years old and she just learned that her
Yeah.
dad is rejecting her
Mm-hmm.
officially.
Yeah.
And I want you to imagine that you, adult Carolyn, go to
Mm-hmm.
her
Yeah.
and you get down on her level and you look her in the eyes and you say, little Carolyn, I don't blame you for feeling
Mm-hmm.
like your life just ended.
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all because in a way it did.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
Yeah.
blame you for not trusting. You already didn't trust our mom because she isn't trustworthy. And maybe now what's happening is you're realizing you can't trust your dad either, that he's not so great either. And it feels so painful. But I need you to see what I see. I need you to see the truth. I need you to see that the rejection that you're experiencing from him in particular and have felt your whole life from your mom, both those things are not reflections of you. They are 100% reflections of them. And the truth is, you're just learning right now how untrustworthy your dad really is. And so let's do this. Let's take all the shame that you feel from both of them, from all their emotional rejection, and we're going to put that shame in 2 cardboard boxes and we're going to give it back to each one of them right now.
Okay.
And I want you to look little Carolyn in the eyes and say, little Carolyn, I don't reject you because I have eyes to see. And unlike your parents, I don't just see myself, I see you and I see how precious you are. And you have my approval because what won my love isn't how you win me over or make me feel like them, but what wins my love is what's inside you. It's your heart. And you won my heart the day you were born because your heart is good. And I see that. You have my approval and you will have it until the day you leave this earth. There's nothing that could ever detract from that. So now you are free.
Um, yeah. I Yes, in bits and pieces, I have come to realize the value of me, the worth of me, or little me. I should even go back at more. I think because now I'm taking me where I am, and I can be objective, and I'm okay with my self concept. But I still needed to attend to little Kapanin and 8 year old and 9 year old, whatever. And yeah, she's still crying inside of me sometimes. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah. And the putting the shame in the box, I love that. I know you do that, and it's a great
Mm-hmm.
method because I know I also have compassion for my parents because I know that had nothing to do with me in hindsight. But at the time, you can't know that as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I know when my parents' trauma, were and their own rejection wounds, and they
Yeah.
were just probably trying to heal.
Okay, you know that, but first of all, isn't
Mhm.
it interesting that you know all of their early trauma, but they don't know yours or
Mhm.
care about your? Isn't that an interesting
It
paradox?
is.
Hmm.
It is. I think there are, yeah, and I wish they would be insightful
Well,
enough or
yeah,
open minded enough about that. But it's
that's
too
their job.
threatening to their ego.
It's
But
their
they
job.
don't want it. Yeah, but they will feel defensive. I know that. I know that's who they
Okay,
are. I
so
can't go there with them. Yeah.
no, you can't with them. But what I'm saying is, what do you think about a parent that, so you have two parents, you know about their early trauma, you have
Yeah.
all this empathy, but they have no empathy for your early trauma that they caused. So, what do you think about that they are
Yeah.
choosing their comfort over you?
Yeah. That's another abandonment, I guess, or rejection.
It is, but it's a choice. So what do you feel in your body when you think of that choice? Because that's not the route you're going with your kids.
Yeah. No, no, I'm taking ownership of my
Mhm.
stuff. And I don't want for them to do the healing. I didn't do. So I'm working on my healing as I'm
Mhm.
parenting them. And I
Yeah.
wish every parent could do that.
Yeah.
So what does that, for me, it's really letting go. It's letting go of the expectation that my parents would change.
Okay, but before we
No?
get there,
Yeah.
I want you just to feel your body
Yeah.
that your parents are refusing to show the empathy for you that you ironically show for them, and that
Yeah.
you are doing right by your children by choosing their well-being over your comfort, and they refuse to do that. Just tell me what your body feels.
I don't think I feel much in my body other than like a sense of solitude, like an orphan child.
Mm.
And I have that archetype. So I think it's really a heavy solitude. I don't feel anything right now specifically.
Okay,
Come
wait,
on.
wait. So the dog being really rambunctious made your body more tense, you think?
Yes, and I don't know if it's also maybe the opposite. Maybe he felt me tense and became rambunctious. I don't know what caused what, chicken or egg.
Right.
But the dog was more demanding of my attention. If I went to take a shower, he had the time to decapitate a Barbie doll that had been there for a few years just for decoration. He was
Yeah.
like, it was like a torture scene. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he had toys and no, just the time I took for a shower, this happened. And it was like one thing after the other. I mean, books, he chewed at books.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. That was just yesterday out of nowhere.
That was yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I want you, let's do this. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine you're at home and you just came out of the shower, and there, like it's like you have a toddler raging
Yeah.
in your household all of a sudden, and I want you just to see all the mess
Yeah.
and tell me what your body feels.
Yeah. Kind of a little bit tense breathing.
Oh, okay. So a little tension in your chest. Okay.
Yeah. Chest and upper belly.
Oh, okay. And upper belly. Okay. So I want you to feel that. And I want you now to let your mind float back to see if there's an earlier time you felt that sensation.
Yeah. That specifically, I don't know.
Okay.
It's a,
Okay. That's fine. So tell me what your body would want to say, what your chest, what your solar plexus, your gut, if it had words,
All
what
right.
would it
Okay.
say?
So, gosh, I'm going to cry. It's going to say, you can't do this.
You can't make a mess.
You can't do this, not to me. I
Oh,
think it tells me I'm incapable.
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, is that tied to the anger at all? Because,
Yeah, it
when,
is. It is. Okay. So
yeah.
it says that you're incapable. It says you're a failure in a way.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're incompetent at raising
Okay.
kids, at raising a dog, at everything,
Okay.
at
Okay.
leading your life.
I'm getting some understanding here. So I think we
Yeah,
need to
all the
finish.
pieces are coming together. Yeah.
I think we need to finish with little Carolyn, and I
Yeah.
want you to picture her again. I want
Okay.
you to picture her, and maybe she's younger than 8. Maybe this is earlier. Maybe this is when she's just feeling the chronic emotional neglect of her mother as a
Okay.
baby. Let's just say she's a baby because babies, they feel that. They pick up
Yeah.
on the lack of eye contact, the lack of
Yeah.
delight on the mama's face. They pick up on the vibe that mama resents all the
Right.
work, right? They pick that up. So I want you to see baby Carolyn, and I want you to go to her and pick her up, and you swaddle her and you hold her in your arms and you look her in the eyes and you say, "Little Carolyn, I see you and I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. You are telling yourself a story that you are the reason for the neglect of your mother. And I know why. Because for you to acknowledge the truth about your primary attachment figure would annihilate you. It would be too much. You wouldn't be able to stay alive. You would lose all hope. So I don't blame you, but need to help you see that now you have me. I'm rescuing you. You're no longer dependent on her. And I commit to, from here
Yeah.
on out, being that trustworthy attachment figure who will validate your feelings and meet your needs consistently. And before I begin, I need to apologize that I really have been a shitty attachment figure for you. I have put everyone else first and you last, and I need to apologize, little Carolyn. Please forgive me. I've been a fool. But from here on out, I commit to only being responsible for you and only
Okay.
responsible to everyone else, nothing more. And so I validate your anger at me. And now that you have me, we can feel the truth and the anger in our bodies at this mother. And not just the anger, the betrayal, the disgust at this mother who resents our existence, who resents our needs, who refuses to validate that, our feelings. We can feel those things together now because what's shareable is bearable. And
Yeah.
you will never have to feel them in isolation. And we don't have to blame ourselves anymore. We can live in reality now.
That's so beautiful. Thank you, Bronwyn.
Yeah.
This is it. This is, yeah. Oh, wow. Life changing.
What do you
This
feel
is
in
what
your
I
body?
needed. I just, yeah, relief.
Hmm.
I can breathe. It's,
That is hope.
I'm unburdened. Yeah.
That is
Hope.
hope. When we can breathe deep breaths, that's
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's funny because I picked a card at the beginning of this lunar cycle at the new moon, and it was Demeter, the goddess Demeter, and Hope, Demeter, the mother, right? I'm Persephone.
Oh,
You need to come get me. Don't abandon me.
wow.
All comes together. I know it's meaningful, and the hope. You just said that, and I have that card for the whole cycle until the next new moon, and it says hope, and I'm like meditating on that. So you're just this beautiful synchronicity. Wow, what a
Wow.
gift. So thank you.
Wow.
you're very attuned. I really,
Well, I
I'm in
mean, thank
awe of
you.
what you do.
But you see these patterns. I mean, this is all of our stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, wow. I wish everyone who had that opportunity, to work with someone like you and do that process.
Well, I'm trying to train other
Yeah.
therapists. I'm trying to get the word out. And I'm CE credentialed now. So I have CEs, but I think only for people who are, it wouldn't be for psychiatrists or psychologists. It would just be, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, I do train other therapists now.
Wonderful. You're doing incredible work, and it's really needed. And
Thank
wow,
you.
it comes back full circle to our
Yeah.
attachment wounds, and the anger is a portal to that, and the bodily sensations as well. So yeah, we
Mhm.
should stop staying in our heads, you
Yeah.
know, and yeah, bringing back
Maybe
our
that's kind of
attention
what
to the
happens in
body.
menopause is we just naturally kind of
Oh yeah.
disconnect from our brain and like are more
Yeah.
connected with our body just naturally, you know?
I think so. It forces us to be grounded because, okay, if we neglected ourselves by neglecting our bodies, we can't anymore. We
Yeah.
can't, we become disoriented with the irregular cycles, everything. This is a very disorienting, but it's to get our attention, I think. That's my
Well,
spiritual explanation for this.
yeah, well,
Yes.
you know what? I saw an Instagram reel and a Native American guy was saying that the way they viewed women's menstrual cycles was that the men were jealous because they're like, look, the woman, her body naturally like unleashes toxic waste every new moon
Wow.
or what have you, and so we have to go to sweat lodges to do that. Like the woman just
Oh,
does it naturally, and so I if
wow.
that's really like there's something like
Huh.
that going on where while
Uh-huh.
we menstruate, our bodies naturally like discarding like feelings that we aren't ready to feel or something like that, then I wonder that, if menopause, it's all of a sudden we're not able to do that. And now we're feeling these feelings again, the anger and the disgust, right?
That's incredible. I love that. It's like a cleansing,
Yes.
just like crying, the sweating, the for us, it's like, yeah, another level of cleansing. And if we don't have that, then yeah, we need to find other ways. Wow, that's great. I love that. Such wisdom.
I mean, you put all these things together and it makes
Hmm.
sense. Yeah.
It does. Yeah. This is so cool to talk about this with you. Thank you, Bronwyn.
Yeah. No, thank you,
Thanks.
Carolyn. It's really lovely. And yeah, I think as we can move away from our brains, I mean, the brain is amazing, but into our bodies, trusting our bodies, the subjective, pairing that
Yeah.
with the objective and the integration of those things. That's what healing is, right? That's what
Yeah.
wholeness is integration.
Yes. Yes. Integration. Oh, wow. Thank you.